Walang sure.
Oo.
Or mag-video na lang. Ay, wait lang. Nag-leave si Kin.
Hello po, good evening po.
Evening.
Napatay ata yung ni ano. Yan.
Good evening. Okay na po ba?
Start na.
Ayun, okay na. So, good evening. Time check. It's now 7:52 in the evening. I am Dinapol B. Geronimo and I will be your host for tonight's interview about the topic of job design and its effect to employees' performance. But before we start with our interview, I would like to discuss our guidelines. First, everyone is encouraged to actively participate in this interview. Second, since this interview is recorded and will be submitted to our professor, Dr. Zandy Briones, I would highly suggest that each and every one of you should turn on your cameras to the whole duration of tonight's interview. Third is turn on your microphones only when necessary. Fourth is prepare your pens and a sheet of paper for jotting down notes because after this interview, each members of the group will be sharing to us their insights about what we have learned from tonight's interview with the topic about job design and its effect to employees' performance. So let's start. Welcoming our guest, she is Miss Dale Angelique David Lapu-Lapu. She graduated in Bachelor of Business Management at Ateneo de Davao University and now taking up law at Jose Maria College of Law, also in Davao City. She is the owner of Cocina Virginia, located in the Sunrise Capital and Coconut Capital of the Philippines, city of Mati, Davao Oriental. They are also now operating a business, another business, Let's Swing It by Cocina Virginia, and they will soon open a physical restaurant as soon as this pandemic ends. Sharing her experiences in her business, let us all welcome our guest, Ms. Dale Angelique David Lapu-Lapu.
Hello, good evening. Narinig ako? Hello?
Hello po, good evening po.
Opo,
Hello?
good evening
Hello,
po.
good
Hello po,
evening.
good
Can you hear
evening.
me?
Yes,
Yes
Miss Dale,
po.
we can
Yes
hear
po.
you.
So as what Dinah has said, so right now I am managing Cocina Virginia as well as Let's Wing It. So basically what we do is we're in the food business, and aside from that, we also have other businesses. So we're not strangers into business venture. So ayun. What do you want me to tell? Hello?
Yes, Miss Dale. Any concerns po?
Can you hear me? Choppy po kasi.
Opo, we can hear you po.
Opo.
Okay. So basically what I'm going to share you is about job design, right? And what its effect to the employees.
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes po.
Okay. So firstly I want you to let's narrow the topic into job design alone. So first, what is job design? Job design is the this is a series of tasks which will incorporate or which will cover the whole aspect of your entire job. So from each detailed design, it will be a whole work that can be read that can be done individually, but it will be combined
Hala, nawala ata.
Wala si ma'am.
Wala, nawala siya.
Paano yun?
Sige, okay lang yan kasi live.
Wait lang, wait
Ganun
lang.
talaga pag
Pwede.
live.
Wait lang. Ayun. Ay, wait lang. Andito na
Ano
si...
wala?
Andito na si
Day na ano?
Ma'am Dale. Oh, nandito na po si Ma'am Dale. So, sorry for the interruption,
It's okay po, ma'am.
Ma'am Dale.
Nakamute
siguro
po
siya.
ata.
okay na. Hello?
Okay, okay. Clear na.
Okay.
Okay na.
So, as what I've been telling, job design is it is the process of the work arrangement, or it is the rearrangement which is aimed to overcome or to reduce the job dissatisfaction, or it is also about the employees what do you call this one, isolation from repetitive tasks. So now through job design, it will raise the productivity of every employees, as well as it will increase the it will pace up the workload. So basically that is job design. So why is job design important? Job design is important simply because without if you are the owner of the like if you are the owner of a restaurant business and you fail to determine what are the different tasks that should be made or should be processed, you most likely you will fail at serving your customers on time. Most likely there will be some workers who will fail to do their job coherently, and also most likely you cannot give a satisfactory product or service to to your customers. So basically that's it. So once you have your job design already, or once the company or the business focuses on its job design, each task will be more productive. Each employee will reduce the um overloading, and as well as the underloading of work. So that's it. So do you have any questions so I can elaborate more on the topic?
Yes, ma'am. We have
Okay.
prepared a bag of questions for you. So, for the first question, it
Okay.
will be asked by Miss Maria Cristina Verceles.
Good evening, Miss Dale. Here's
Good
my question
evening.
po. Do you think that job design is really helpful for the performance of your employees, ma'am?
Yes. job design is actually very important when you are working or when you are managing your business. For owners or for the managers, they have to identify what tasks should be done because if you fail to determine what are the tasks that should be done and what are the necessary jobs that should be made during such specific timeline, you will fail also to give a satisfactory and coherent service. So let's say for example, as a manager, I forgot that you should buy ingredients during this time, or else when you go to the market late late what do you call this during midday, there's no more what do you call this one ingredients or enough ingredients for your restaurant. Now, as a manager, if you fail to what do you call this one if you fail to identify such tasks that should be made during such specific timeline, it will deterrent your what they'll call this one it will deterrent your service to your customers. And also there will most likely there will be a repetitive task that will to determine what are the tasks that should be done by your employees, because again in job design you have to identify what are the tasks that should be done by every employee, and also how are the tasks should be done. Let's say employee 1 should be washing the dishes, or let's say employee 2 will be preparing will be slicing or will be preparing the ingredients. If those tasks were not done properly by your employees, most likely your restaurant will suffer or your business will suffer simply because um, there's no specific guidelines, or there's no specific design for every task that should be done by your employees. So during those times, you also have to identify here if um, how many employees should be doing such specific tasks, because if you fail to identify how many tasks are being should be that your employees should do, most likely some employees will be experiencing overloading of work, while others won't be doing won't be doing enough job at all. So so on that part, job design is very crucial for your business. Yes, did I answer your question?
Yes
Hello.
po.
Okay.
Another question pa po.
Okay, go.
Do you think work measurement is really important in an organization, and why?
Work measurement. Can you elaborate more when you say like the quantity of work that should be done by every personnel? Is that it?
Opo.
Okay. What is what is the importance of work measurement? Hello.
Yes po.
Okay. So again, if you fail to identify how much work or how a work should be done in every specific job that your personnel has to do, some employees could be some employees overloading will have overloading of work, and some others will be underloading of work. So basically, you have to identify you have to measure how many or how much work person do. So if you fail to identify those things, again, you will go back to the basic problem, which is the underloading and overloading of work. Because you, as a what do you call this one, as a manager or as an HR, you have to make sure that every each of your employees will have a equal amount of work, because you, of course, you don't want to pay an employee who's underworking, right? Right. So on that case, you have to see that each of your employees will have an equal amount of work, or else some will experience burnout, and while the others are, what they call this one, they will be they will just be paid without doing enough work. So that's it. Yeah, hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you,
Yan.
ma'am.
I'm Joanna po.
Welcome. Any questions?
Hello,
Thank
ma'am.
you, Mark Christina.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Joanna po. And here's the other
Hello,
question, ma'am.
Joanna. Okay.
Can you tell me, ma'am, about the projects you're most proud of and how did you came up with it?
Like projects I've done in my whole life, or like for the specific restaurants lang? What projects are you talking about here? Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Can you elaborate more on what projects are you trying to talk about? What project should I talk about?
Yung project po na na-handle nyo na po.
Okay. So sige, let's go back when I was in college. When I was in during my college times, I handled seminars, conventions as a program head, and as a what they call this one, as part of the committee head. So basically, when you are doing projects, you have to find sponsors. You also have to coordinate with different people outside of your school, as well as you have to find a company sponsor that can give you enough marketing, that can give you enough promotion, and can give you enough funds for your project to pursue, right? So while doing that, I think I am most
Yes,
proud.
ma'am.
I think I am no, I am confident that one of my biggest project was when we coordinated all the business schools in Davao region to have a to that we can no that we had a what do you call this one, a 3-day seminar about how a business should be done. We also have talks from different talks about different, what do you call this one, talks about different um, um, business owners in Davao, as well as we have to call this one, we have the vice president of Nestle to come to our seminar. So I think I am the proudest that we are the pioneer batch to ever done that, since Davao region is big, it's huge, and to incorporate different schools from Davao region, from Davao City to Tagum to Panabo to Digos, to conduct such huge seminar, and considering that we are the pioneer batch to do that, and it is still ongoing. I don't think this year, but it was. So I guess it was somewhat was my proudest project. Also, ano pa ba? Recently I had a project, but it's a different kind kasi it's not about business anymore. So It's more of a Toastmasters club. I don't know if you are familiar. So it is a speech. It's more of a speech competition. So that's it. But it's not very memorable as my first one. So that's all. Ano pa ba?
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Ay, any questions pa?
Yes po. The fourth question is from Mr. Jose Antiporto.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. My name is Jose Anteporda, and my question for you is, can you specify, ma'am, the skills needed in an employee to perform the job effectively and efficiently?
Specify, pardon, specify the,
The skills needed in an employee to perform the job effectively and efficiently.
okay. So, yan. When you hire an employee, you should first look at their um, set of skills which is required for the job. Of course, you won't be hiring a what do you call this one, an accounting graduate to cook, right? So you have to match the job description to the person once you hire. Also, when you are looking for when you identify the skills of each employee, you also have to see um the diverse their diversity to work, because some employees can handle such specific jobs and others can't. So while during the what they call this one during the interview, when you are the HR, diba, you have to ask, can you do this one, or can you not? Also, you have to see their work background. Have they done this before, or they haven't? If they haven't, you have to ask them also if you have to parang ano, what they call this? Tawag ito eh. You have to see if they are capable by um, parang probationary muna. Hello? Can you get? Hi.
Yes,
We
yes
can hear
po.
you po.
We can.
That before you hire a person, that before you hire a person, you have to see first if they are qualified. Because basically, you cannot just of that person na, he is capable of doing this. Of course not. You have to look first their resume, or you have to ask their um you have to ask them personally if they have tried to do this job, or are they capable of doing this job. If you are what do you call if you are not sure, maybe you can put that person in probationary, and then like after a week or two, you can identify na he's not good in this one. So it's either you can train them, if you can train them, or if you cannot train them anymore because let's say they are very hopeless on that part, so you can just tell them formally and that you should let them go because they cannot handle such work pressure. Did I answer your question, Jose?
Yes po. Thank you for that wonderful answer po.
Okay.
We have another question po. It's from Mr. Rafael Noe Wilbur.
Hello po, ma'am. Good evening. I'm
Okay.
Rafael Noe Wilber, and this is my question. In your experience,
Good
ma'am,
evening.
what is the main key in developing a good team for how they build mutual trust, respect, and cooperation?
Wait, pardon, I
In
beg
your
your pardon.
experience, ma'am, what is the main key in developing a good team for how they build mutual trust, respect, and cooperation?
Okay. So, for me personally, team building works, especially if you have a even if you have a small team. Team building really works. That's where you will know the strength of every person. That is how you will um, also know if that person how that person can handle specific stress, or how that person can handle stress. What else? Other extrinsic factors, right? So aside from team building, you also have to to tell your employees, or your to tell your team to respect the hierarchy, right? Because how can you give respect to someone who doesn't even respect the positions that you have, right? Since having a team, or having a certain employees, you also have to, what they call this one, you have to position yourself na you are, what they call this one, that you are in a pyramid ba, na that the other person cannot just bypass the other person the other person's position. Do you get my point? Hello, hello,
Yes
Wilbert.
po, ma'am. Yes po, ma'am. Yes po, ma'am.
Ayan. So basically, aside from having team building, it's good that you can during the meetings you have to practice a certain formality, as well as you have to implement a certain respect, not to the point na parang your employees will be super scared to you, because you're parang ano, they call this one, you're no longer rational, you're just scary. So that's not it. You just have to put a certain boundary. That's right. You have to put a certain boundary to your employees, so they can respect the work environment as well as the positions. And aside from that, so during team buildings also, you can what you call this one, there's a certain trust, diba? In team building, you do certain activities. So from that on, there will be a certain bond from you and your employees, and from that activities, there can be a certain unity that you and your employees can what they call this one, can promote, or can that you will be united, ganyan. Hello? Ayan, all.
Yes po, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am. It's me again po, Verceles po.
Hello? Okay na?
Yes po, ma'am. Thank you po, ma'am.
Hello, Versalas.
My
Welcome.
question is motion study important, especially to the performance of your employees po?
Hello? Motion study?
Yes po.
Motion study is what? Hello, Choppy.
Hello
Hello?
po. Is motion study important?
Hello, Choppy, Versalas.
Oh my gosh. Naririnig niyo na po ba ako?
Motion study. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Di ba motion study is the, what do you call this one? It's parang, there's a, you eliminate the unnecessary, hello? So, I guess that's it. So, yes, I agree that motion study is important since it is already it is theoretically and practically a efficient technique to for business since what do you call this one, motion study is it consists, right, it consists of analyzing and as well as trying analyzing certain workload and to improve such workloads, right? So since motion study is parang, what do you call this one, it is a, ano ba, how do I explain motion study? So yes, motion study is important since somehow it can it can eliminate, diba? It can eliminate a certain indirect and ineffective workload or workload. So in that case, if you have identified such unnecessary and the, what do you call this one, the your efficiency as a business can be increased, as well as you won't be wasting too much energy, time, as well as work manpower on that specific unnecessary task. Okay na? Okay na for
Okay.
Celeste?
Thank you po.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Miss Dale. Here's my question for you.
Good
By
evening,
the way, I'm
Tin.
Dinah Paul Geronimo po.
Hello,
And here's my
Dinah.
question for you po, ma'am. How do you reward or discipline your employees based on their performance?
Okay, that's a good one. So, first, how do I discipline? And the second one is how do I reward, right? So,
Yes,
first,
ma'am.
how do I discipline? Basically, uh, the most common the most common is to sanction or to punish a certain employee. However, I have this ideology that aside from giving sanction or punishment, you can discipline a employee by telling, or a, what do you call this one, or a, yeah, an employee, when you when inside, or yeah, inside your company or your business, you have that certain respect. I don't know if respect is the perfect term for it, but you should have that level of professionalism that you should embody, because if you fail professionalism on every job, even if you punish, or even if you sanction an employee again and again, most probably he or she will most probably do it, since there's no he doesn't have, or she doesn't have that level of professionalism. So but sometimes, of course, there can be ill ill activities, or let's say there's a you cannot it's beyond your control. So first you can give put sanction. Let's say for your sanction, you can decrease his pay if that's what you want, or you can decrease the salary. So that is how I discipline. Or worse is you fire them if the circumstance is rationally or logically tells you to fire a person. So that is if the the person or your employees activities or his doings are very extreme. Let's say he stole a certain inventory. So for that instances, you can fire him. So that will also teach your other employees or the whole team about about so your whole team actually can learn from it. So most likely it's either you can reprimand, that is how I give sanction, or that is how I give discipline. But most likely you have to instill to your every employees that there should be a level of professionalism within the whole team. The second one is how do I reward. Basically, you can in a month who is the best employee. So that can motivate them, diba? Who doesn't want that their hard work can be credited. So you can put their picture as the best employee of the month. Also, aside from recognition, if you have an extra budget, or you have an extra what do you call this one, an extra fund, you can also give a monetary incentive. So sometimes when you have a monetary incentive, it will boost your employees as well, or your team's um motivation to really work hard, because that's money. So who doesn't want it, right? So that's all.
Thank you, Miss
Any
Dale.
other
I
question?
got the answer.
You're welcome. Okay, that's good.
Good evening, ma'am. I would like to thank you for participating with us. I'm Kin Garcia, and here's my question for
Hello,
you.
Kin.
Were there
Okay.
any were there any flaws or mistakes in making your job design? What did you learn from your experience?
Mm, actually, I did. Since we opened Let's Wing It, of course, there are in during our first week, it's not the perfect one. It's most probably a trial and error. What we did was on our first day we have this specific we what do you call this one? We put a timeline on how to do things, or how a person should do the things like that. Since it's our first day, of course, it was not perfect. So we were really struggling. Somehow we were cramming to release orders. So during the so the night after no after the working hours, we what do you call this one? We identify what are the problem. So basically, that that is how should you how you should handle every time there's a mistake or there are problem arising during your work period. So after the working hours, me and my team, we talked about how we should handle things for the second day. And same goes on for third day until I think we reach our fourth day, till we have that specific till we reach that what they call this one, till we reach a more efficient and more effective job design, or more efficient work cycle. So after the fourth day, we already practice, and then we already know what each person should do, so that we will prevent, or we will avoid the mistakes that we did on our first, second, and third day.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Good evening again, ma'am. This is Dinah Paul B.
Good
Hieronym, and
evening.
this will be the last question for today. Tonight, I mean. How does job design contribute to success?
Okay.
Thank you.
So job design actually contributes to each business's success. As what I've been telling you guys, job design does not only involve in your administrative practices, it also involves in your to the whole business practice. So since you have determined what each of your employees should be doing, for how long they should be doing such specific tasks, and where should they be doing such tasks, and as well as which person is, or which employee is the best person or the best employee to do a specific task, you can achieve a more satisfactory, again, a more satisfactory, a more efficient, as well as a more effective work process. So if you have reached such, or so you can now there's what they call this one, there's a specific um there's a what they call this one, there's a lessening of what they call, there's a lessened work job for uh for each person, since you will already remove a repetitive task and the likes. So for me, job design is very important, especially if you have a small team, because you cannot really afford to have mistakes. So in that case, if you have what they call this one, if you have practice, I know, if you have identified a efficient job design, most probably you can your business will be successful, since you will eliminate, again, diba, you will eliminate the cost of some tasks, and you will eliminate other unnecessary manpower, as well as unnecessary time to be doing such unrelated tasks. Did, okay.
Thank you, Miss Dale,
So
for
that
answering my
thank you,
Thank
question.
ma'am.
you.
So that concludes the end of our interview for tonight. I, Joanna Marie Aranda, co-host, would like to thank our guests in lending her time. Thank you, Miss Dale Angelique David Lapu-Lapu, for your participation. We are honored to be able to hear from you and to gain more knowledge about job designs and its effect to employees' performance and how to handle every struggle in running a business. And we have learned a lot from it. Our group wishes you more and more success and wishes you good health
Thank
amid
you.
this pandemic. This group interview would never be successful without your participation. Once again, thank you and may God bless us all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you,
Good
Miss
luck.
You po,
Dale.
God
Ma'am.
bless po.
Wait
Thank
lang.
you,
How
ma'am.
should I do?
Thank you. Thank you po, Miss Dale. So, so I guess we all have learned a lot from her statements, and Richard thus a very eye-opening one. So now, we will be, and I'm pretty sure na lahat tayo ay maraming natutunan sa insights at statements ni Miss Dale Angelique David Lapu-Lapu. So next, we will be hearing each and every group members' insights. The first insight and we will be doing it alphabetically. So the first one, we will be hearing from Mr. Jose Frederick Antiporda.
So thank you, Miss Dina. So I will just share my insights about our interview. So I have 5 things that struck me the most in the interview. So first is you cannot give a quality product or service. That's why job design is a very important or very crucial in a business or as a HR manager. Second is the tasks are well distributed or managed because of job design. Okay, so uh, as a owner as a owner in a restaurant, so job design will help the owner distribute properly the jobs or the tasks that each employee will do. Okay, so next, job design also can eliminate underwork. So as Miss Angelique said a while ago, so as an owner, we don't want to have an employee that's underwork or the his his or her work is not equal to the amount that is being received or the salary. Okay, so we don't want that. Next is team building really works, and we should always know the organizational structure. So Miss Angelique also really emphasizes that we should know the organizational structure. She said a while ago the pyramid, or we should know who is the owner, who is the blah blah blah. Okay, so that's what I learned. And lastly, uh, to treat every employee professionally. So the last thing that I really learned about her sharing or interview is that we should really treat every employee professionally. So she don't want to really what you call this, to sanction a employee, but first she will know or how much the damage of that employee has taken to the restaurant. Then from there she will decide on how much also the sanction will be given to that employee. So that's it. Thank you for that's my insights about the interview.
Thank you, Mr. Jose, for your insights. Up next is Miss Joanna Marie Aranda.
Thank you, Miss Dina. And sinabi nga ni Ma'am Dale na yung job design is napaka-importante talaga sa atin. Super importante talaga kasi sinasabi niya na kinocover niya lahat ng job, and it can be done equally daw kasi once na yung owner is nag-fail siya sa pag-serve sa customer on time at nag-fail siya sa work task niya, maaaring mag-fail na lahat from the top to the bottom, na mag-fail na lahat. And sinabi din niya na as a HR or HR manager siya, nagbibigay siya ng reward to, halimbawa sa best employee of the month, nagbibigay siya ng motivation para mag-boost daw yung mga employees niya. And yun lang.
Thank you, Miss Joanna, for your insights. Up next is from Miss Keen Garcia.
Thank you, Miss Dina. My insight is each day the thought of how to become a successful begins to slip from appearing in your dreams to transforming into a closer reality.
Leading ideas for navigating the evolving workplace, managing talent, and innovation. creating an agile organization,
to respond to emerging business trends, gaining a competitive edge by hiring, developing, and managing the best talent.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jean Garcia. And now I will discuss or share to you my insights. So basically, with the job design, as what Ms. Dale Angelique have discussed, it will raise the productivity of each employees. And it is really important to know more and to practice. Lalo na kasi also the employees are the ones who help run a successful business. And diversity really does work. And as what she has shared, that with job design, you make your business or your employees' works and tasks day by day more effective and more efficient. So with job design, it does have a very important role to not just to the employees but also to the business. With job design also, mas nagiging boom um, yung business mo. And also, when you want your business to be in a satisfactory level, you need to have a background for your employees, and also you need to have a very eye for a successful business. So I guess that would be all for my insights. Up next is from Miss Maria Cristina Verceles.
For me naman, yeah, I have learned a lot from Miss Dale. So, kagaya ng sinabi ni Joanna, and sa speaker natin, which is si Miss Dale, na job design is really important to the business kasi ito ay more efficient, and under ng job design is nandun yung motion study, which is sabi ni Miss Dale, if motion study is the efficiency technique to the business. So yun, madami akong natutunan, and sabi niya, the job design is tawag dito, contributes each business success. So which is important talaga yung job design, and that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Maria Cristina Verceles, for that insight. And for our last insight is Mr. Rafael Noe Bilgor.
For me, this for me sobrang importante to kasi in the future I want to make business. So lahat ng mga sinabi niya pwede kong i-apply doon sa business ko. Sobrang effective siya. Tas sobrang tumatak sa akin, dapat once na magbi-business ka, dapat kapag ikaw na yung owner, dapat ikaw yung bibili ng mga ingredients ng restaurant mo para dapat maaga para mabili mo lahat ng mga kailangan. And thank you.
Thank you for that, Miss
That's
Noe, and
all.
thank you and thank you and thank you everyone for your participation. This interview would not be successful participation, and I hope to see you all, and let's have a Merry Christmas and a New Year.